Chicken. What is it? Piccata. Chicken piccata. Hi, my name is Dylan. I was diagnosed with celiac when I was 11, so everything on this channel is always going to be gluten-free. Today we're going to make a chicken piccata. So to start out, we are going to bread our chicken. Two different things that you can use: gluten-free breadcrumbs and gluten-free flour. Having both of them helps in really adding that breading consistency for a gluten-free type of cut. So the reason that you want to use cutlets instead of thicker chicken is, well, you can use thicker chicken, but you're gonna have to butterfly it because you don't want these to be too thick. You want to really adhere a lot of the lemon and the flavoring of the wine sauce, everything together onto the chicken. So we're gonna crack our egg. That's so weird. Oh, one-handed. Check it. I'm getting better. Whisk this up. Cool. So we're gonna mix our gluten-free flour in with our breadcrumb. You're gonna salt and pepper. And then just mix it all up. The biggest advice I can give you in terms of breading anything, if you're gonna do an egg wash, anything, and then try to put it in breading, is make sure to keep your hands separate. So you're gonna have one that goes into the liquid so that it's really wet, and then one to just cover, or you can add two people. This is a really fun one to do with a partner if you're gonna do like a date night or whatever. It's a great one. Wet hand. I like that one. I like you, Poppy. No, I don't like you either. Choose you, Pikachu. Alright, so try to get your bowls close together because you might drip, you might make a mess. You don't want too much of the egg wash. We're gonna put it down with our wet hand. Dry hand puts all the stuff on. Should have got a bigger bowl. The reasoning behind why you don't want to use this hand is, look, even just a tiny bit, I'm starting to it gets stuck to my fingers. Take your time with this. Don't rush this just because you're trying to knock them out or you get frustrated. This is a really, really important part of making sure the breading stays on the chicken. And voila! Then you're gonna transfer it to your plate. You want to let these rest because you want the breading to actually adhere to the chicken. What I recommend is putting them just off to the side for 5 to 10 minutes and really letting that breading stick before you start cooking it. She just sent this to me. Okay, so we've waited a little bit. Our chicken is good to go. We're ready to cook it. So we're going to put a little bit of butter and a little bit of oil into our pan and get it heated up. Butter is really going to allow it to get that crisp, that brown that we're looking for. If you just use butter and you don't use oil, the butter will burn. The oil prevents the butter from burning. Having them together really is like the best way to brown any kind of meat. The more you know. Under the sea. Okay. Always say it, but down and away. Regardless of how well you bread these, crumbs are gonna fall off and they're gonna get into the mix. That's fine. When we make the sauce, we're gonna use the same pan. All those crispy, crumbly things come into the sauce and add so much flavor. They're really good. So, it's all good. In the meantime, while we're waiting for these, something you can do is prep your lemon because the seeds come out and they're real annoying and we need a full lemon. So I'm gonna put it all into a bowl. The whole point of this is to just get it to brown because we're gonna put it back in with the sauce. So you just want it to make sure that it's crisp, but you don't want to overcook it because we're gonna put it back in. So that looks perfect. Look at that crunch. That's how these should look. And if you didn't refrigerate them, they're gonna be just about cooked all the way through. That's why I like to put them in the refrigerator. Just so the chicken's actually a little bit colder, you can brown the outside of it and it won't be cooked all the way through yet. So we're not gonna overcook our chicken when we put it into the sauce. Cool, so these are good. We're gonna put them onto a separate plate. So this is what you're gonna be left with. And this is how we're going to start our sauce. Here's the thing. Most people, when they see these kind of recipes or they ask for these type of recipes, they want to know exact quantities of what you add. This isn't baking, it's cooking. You gotta kind of go with what you feel works best with what you're working with. So I don't measure most of the time. If you're gonna use measurements, I would say 1/3 of a cup of lime juice, 1/4 of a cup of wine, and 1/2 a cup of chicken stock. The sauce is the long part in this one. It's gonna take a while, you really gotta let it simmer. So be patient. So this has been about 4 minutes, and it's just the chicken stock. I like to start with the chicken stock to try to get it to reduce, to bring it down. Getting that to be a little bit thick before you add the other ingredients really brings the sauce to a whole different level. And now we're going to add our other elements. What did I say, 1/4 of a cup? 1/4 of a cup of wine? It's a liquid, so you can cook it down and make it into that sauce. It just adds more flavor. It's just gonna take longer for it to really thicken up. As far as wine goes, it is a cooking wine. You're not gonna use that much of it if you wanna drink it later. Try to get like an in-between, or just get a really cheap cooking wine that you just use for cooking. You're gonna want white, and you're gonna want it to be dry. You got Chardonnays. Add like a little bit more of a buttery complex to the dish, which is what we're going for. It's an Italian dish. We want it to have that buttery flavor. So once we've let our wine kind of just blend into the flavors, then we're gonna add the next complex flavor, which is the lemon juice. Cool, so we've been letting this cook down. It's been about around 10 minutes, close to that. Here's a good way to test whether or not your sauce is ready. So if you use a spatula, you move everything away, see how long it takes to come back to the edge? It's a good sign. You can do it in the middle, it'll kind of come back. How long it finally takes to cover that space. That's a good sign of it becoming thick enough for a sauce. So at this point, we're ready to add our capers. So we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of capers. And then this is a personal preference. I like to add a little bit of the brine into it. So not everybody likes the caper juice, but try it out, see what you think. So that was good. All the capers are kind of pushed off to the side. We're going to add our chicken back into it. And then just make sure to mix it into it, right? Make sure it sticks to the breading. You want to get all this flavor you can mixed into the chicken. And a lot of people, what they'll do with the sauce is they'll just pour it on top of that. It doesn't get the same thing. It's just get it into the sauce and mix it in with it. It's going to absorb into the chicken in a whole different way as opposed to you just pouring it on top. So when you flip them, I'm going to do one more spinny boy. Look at that. The sauce is almost completely gone, right? Almost disappears, but it's in there. And trust me, it is in there in a flavorful way that, whew! Honestly, the parsley isn't a big piece of it. It's just, I'm gonna make this dish look real, real pretty type of thing. Just gonna get the rest of our sauce over here. That's a sauce. That started out as a liquid, right? And then if you want to get extra fancy, you can take a little bit of lemon and add some zest. Try it down. Holy crap. This plate's gonna be gone before I'm done talking about it. You just stop eating it. Lemon, salty, sweet, just ecstasy. It's beautiful. It's so good. It might not look the prettiest. If you just put this on a plate, it's just kind of chicken and brown gumpy sauce with capers in it, but oh man. I'm like at a loss for words. It's so good. You gotta like lemon. Maybe don't add a full lime, and definitely don't add the zest. The zest. What?
You said lime.
Maybe don't. Yeah, try it out. Try different ratios. Let me know what you guys think in terms of ratios. Try like heavier on the chicken stock, or heavier on the wine, or heavier on the lemon. What have you? And let me know what you guys think. So yeah, test it out and leave a comment. Let me know if you guys like it. Keep tuned for the next one. Hit that subscribe. Please click that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one.
You're good.